Our top story this morning, severe weather warnings have been cancelled for Sydney and the New South Wales, Illawarra and central Tablelands, but authorities warn residents they're still not safe yet. Greater Sydney escaped the full force of the storm system as floodwaters remained below the worst-case scenario initially feared. The State Emergency Service says a very serious situation remains, despite the rain bomb sparing the city, dumping its heaviest falls to the north and the south. Some residents along Georges River in the southwest have been told they can return to their homes after 500,000 people were subject to evacuation warnings or orders across the state. Major flooding is still possible on the city fringe and around the Hawkesbury River northwest of Sydney and the Nepean River. Evacuation orders are still in place for about 70 areas. Gabriella Power has the details.
The Hawkesbury River at Windsor in northwestern Sydney, where I am, is still rising. It's sitting at 11.5 metres at the moment. It's expected to peak at 12.2 metres, but it's not expected to exceed the flood level that we saw in March 2021. It's now at a similar level to what we saw in the 1988 floods. But in the last half hour or so, the SES has blocked off this area. As you can see, all day, dozens of locals have been coming up to the river's edge just to watch this all unfold, to watch the Hawkesbury River flow over Windsor Bridge. It's flowing over at the moment. You can see the colour of the water. It's brown, it's murky. It's been raining on and off for the past hour or so. And a big concern for authorities at the moment is really flash flooding, and their message that they want to get out is for people to stay off the roads, as that is one of the most dangerous places you can be. I've been speaking to residents in this area. Some are quite traumatised after what they went through last year. They say that living in the Hawkesbury is no longer living the dream, it's living a nightmare. They have concerns about the insurance and the cost of flooding insurance. So many people in the area don't have it, and many properties have been inundated by floodwater. But here's a little more of what locals have had to say.
Emotionally, yeah, and mentally it took its toll on me last year. I mean, I broke down quite a number of times after last year's flood, and this year I'm barely even able to hold it together. So, you know.
They know it's over the bank and lapping one of the bottom cabins. So I'm just sort of waiting to hear sort of from updates, if I can find out any updates. So, but it's pretty concerned sort of thing, like over the people, and make sure hopefully they've got out all right and everything like that.
In the past 24 hours, the SES has received nearly 3,000 calls for help. Thousands of people have been forced to flee their homes, particularly in those low-lying areas. They've been taken to evacuation centres. Farmers have also had to move their livestock to higher ground or take them to the Castle Hill Showground. What we are seeing, though, in times of crisis, which we do tend to see, is that strong sense of community, that resilience, and people coming together to help one another out. And so we are seeing people volunteer their time and their muscle to deliver sandbags.
Over here at the moment, we're bagging sandbags for people who are vulnerable, who are elderly, who don't have access to four-wheel drives and trailers. We're bagging them separately and getting them into the back of the utes. So we've organised a strike team. We get them in the back of the utes and delivered and set up into different homes that are currently coming under threat from floodwaters.
In Warrington in Western Sydney, a family has been winched to safety by a Navy Seahawk helicopter. Incredible pictures coming through of this family. They called the SES for help last night when their property became inundated by floodwater. The parents had concerns for their young children, but some good news this morning with that helicopter winching them to safety. Now, the rain is set to ease in the next day or so, but we are expecting another major rain event to start again on Sunday. That is going through to Wednesday with more flooding expected.